see. I don't even know if I have the energy this morning. I don't even know if I could bring it. Oh, why is my missus sending broadcast from the house when I'm podcasting? It's so loud. Oh, we're already live. Hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 203 of That Beautiful Life podcast. My name is Kadus Campbell. Sitting here in the beautiful Red in United Kingdom, talking to the beautiful Raj Bergstrom, all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. Raj, how are you doing, bro?
I am fine, thank you. Also, a bit of a yeah. You and I talked before. Of course, we hit the recording button, and a bit tired. It's midweek, and I've been a bit like that a few days. I don't know. It's just yeah. We're getting to that when we're gonna talk about the week and everything. But it's
Yeah.
good otherwise. It's been a kind of weird change, though, as I mentioned to you. When it comes to the weather, it's like we've had really cold. It was 14 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
minus 14 degrees Celsius yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And now it has dropped down almost like around the zero mark. So it's almost plus degrees again. I don't know what's happening. But we've had some beautiful days. Like yesterday, it was no cloud at all. It was just a sparkling sky, like sun, and really
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. So if you just dress well, it's still okay to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And how hi Nalu, welcome. No camp today. We had two tired
Yeah.
eyes. We just agreed upon that. We will be back with the camps next week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna just be the audio from our beautiful beings this time around.
I'm trying to fix something to make it a little bit more appealing to watch with regards to the like trying to put back up the little heads that we usually have.
Mm.
But I for like I forgot how to do it. Like I'll figure it out. Don't worry. But
Yeah.
either way, yeah, Nalu, hi, and sorry about the no cams. A little next week the cams will be back.
Sure.
Um, I huh.
Yeah,
How,
but what about you? I mean, I know I see it's cold for Texas as well. Well, it's kind of global thing then. But even
mhm.
so, I mean, your week. If you start Q, you can go in
The
there
week
and
has been pretty chill. I mean, this morning wasn't. I literally just got up. I'm back to re-potty training Ty for bedtime because
yeah,
as I was saying to you before the show, like he started wetting the bed again, and it's like literally an every night thing now.
yeah,
Sometimes it's a one off or whatever have you. Now it's literally every single night like clockwork. He just wees the bed unless someone wakes him up. He's gonna wee the bed. Um, and I'm just like I don't want that to be a consistency. I don't want that to become it's obviously become a norm where he's gotten accustomed to doing it and he feels fine doing it. But I don't
yeah,
want it to sort of like fester any further. So for me, it's just like me and the missus spoke about it and decided, I'm gonna get this device that you can clip to a child's underpants, and it will sense moisture. So if you clip it right where like maybe this the lowest part of the underwear or something, which is probably the first part to get soiled if they wee themselves,
yeah,
um, then the idea is that it will make this really loud noise and will wake them up that moment as they're about to like wet themselves. So it wouldn't they will wet themselves a little bit, but they wouldn't fully wet themselves. And the idea is that they'll wake up, hold it in, and then go use the potty. And then once they get accustomed to doing that, then the mental association they'll have with it they'll form a mental association, which is like, oh, I will go use the potty at the time when I start feeling like this.
yeah. Right.
And so that's what we started. That's well, literally, we ordered it and it came in last night, like literally last night, it just arrived, and I set it up, and it got triggered immediately. It's quite sensitive. It got triggered because I tested it out with like wet wipes, and it would go off every time like clockwork. And
Mm.
then I tried. So I clipped it once I realized, okay, I know how it works. I've set the sound. I've done everything. Because you can choose the sound you want and the frequency and all that kind of stuff. So I did all the details, set the volume to high, and I put the noise thing on his bed. Now you're not supposed to put it on the child's bed. According to the instructions, put it somewhere where the child will have to get up to go for it. But I figured since the idea is that you're supposed to stay with the child for that first week of them getting accustomed to it being there. I figured, you know what, I'll just put it on the bed. right? And I will just wake up and turn it off. But maybe that's the wrong idea. Maybe I should let him get up to go and turn it off. I just figured if I let him get up and turn it off, he'll play with it. That's
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, exactly. It turns
Uh,
into something else. Yeah.
it'll turn into a toy because essentially once he went to bed, so he made a wee just before bed. It was just something that he does. Um, and there was a little bit of moisture in his pants, and it triggered the thing. Now I don't know if he just sort of like shifted his pants around and kept wiggling his willy or something, and the moisture spread, and then it beep beep beep. It just went off, and I was like, oh bloody hell! But knowing Ty, yeah, I think he was playing with it because the minute I put it on him, he was like, oh, what is this? Oh, what does it do? How does it work? And he's thinking
Yeah.
of every little thing. Instead of like, mate, you're going to bed. Like it's don't worry about it. It's supposed to help you stop weeing the bed. That's what it is. Get ready to sleep. He's seen it as, oh, there's this thing I can play with now. It's new and shiny
Exactly.
and
A gadget.
a new
Yeah.
gadget. And he's completely forgot that it's bedtime and he wants to talk and play with this thing.
Yeah, right.
And I said to him, I was like, mate, bed now, and that's why I didn't like set it up where he has to turn it off because I was like, he is gonna like trigger this, turn it off, trigger it, turn it off, and he's just gonna be having fun doing that, knowing him.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said, no, I'm not having it. So I put it on in his bed. I didn't tell him how to turn it off. I mean, knowing Tarek, he figured out in a second if I leave it up to him, he would. Um,
Yeah.
but I didn't let him touch the speaker thing last night. But the thing didn't get triggered this morning. This morning, damn thing didn't work. Waste of time. But again, it wasn't the thing's fault. It was my fault because you're supposed to clip the way it's supposed to clip. It's supposed to clip kind of on the inside of the pants, like on the sort of like edge of it. And I
Mm.
figured it would probably be better if I clip it right in front of it, like bend the fabric on the pants and then clip it onto that fabric in front of the like in the front area of the pants. I figured it would be even better that way. That was wrong because what I realized when I think about it now, logically speaking, when you bend the fabric, you create a sort of like a crease that's clipped off from the rest of the fabric. So even if he gets wet,
Ah,
that
okay.
little crease of fabric will be dry. You know.
All right. That might be the thing. Actually,
So
it sounds logical from even as you describe it.
yeah. So that's why I wanted to know why it didn't work. But because when I literally unclipped it and I touched it to his pants, it went off. So like I
Right.
unclipped it and then I was like, why didn't it go off? You're wet. So I unclipped it and I just touched the edge of it to his pants. It just went deep, 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 just went off
Yeah.
instantly. So that told me, look, it was because of how I clipped it last night. Like I should have re-clipped it the way I clipped it initially.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
because then that would allow it to like properly go off when it should.
Mm.
So one failed attempt, but other than that, it's all fine and dandy. The rest of the week has been more or less just doing family stuff, at house admin. Um, you know, me and the missus have started doing this new thing where when we drop the boys to Polish school, we go to a coffee shop not too far from where the Polish school is at,
But that's nice. That's nice.
and we sit down and we discuss, house plans and kid plans and other plans and all that kind of stuff.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Sounds good.
So we
Also, some
start.
time together, just being able to actually sit, you and her. Just.
I think I would love for it to be a bit of that, but so far it's just been the planning thing. Because like for me, it's sort of been like, oh, let's not use because like 3 hours we're sitting there. I was like, let's not use the whole 3 hours, just like plan this. And she's like, oh, but like we need to get these things sorted out. And I understand that, but I'm like, 3 hours is a long time though. Like,
Yeah, that's a long time. Maybe you can agree upon some like a kind of half or whatever. Because
yeah.
again, I remember how it is when the kids were my sons were, younger or small, whatever. It's like, you're busy more or less all the time in
Uh-huh.
different ways. And it's hard to have some quality time together with your missus or just, I know I mean, you don't have like your parents or anyone close, like
Mm-hmm.
family. Sure, you have family, but you don't have your parents around close. As I said, when my sons grew up, and his parents that they were like 500 kilometers from here,
Mm-hmm.
800 kilometers when it comes to my parents at that point of time.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't just have spontaneous like, oh, we're gonna go to the movie theater. We had to plan that. Like, how are we gonna do that? We have to ask someone like a friend. Or, it was like So what I'm just trying to say, it was hard to be spontaneous or just find those moments to do
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So I would recommend also to have like especially also when you're able to do like out of the house kind of thing,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're always, well, it's a lot of the things are bound to your place, you know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So just a thought, just a thought.
No, definitely 100%. Like we do struggle to find time to just kick back and outside of like, outside of the house, like going to the movies or whatever, because everything is planned around them. Like, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
um,
That's what I meant. It's
like if we were to go to the
yeah.
movies, it's usually for us, it's usually if maybe we have a family member staying over, then we would usually say like maybe if my sister's over, we'd be like, okay, like someone's in the house, and even if
Mm.
someone is in the house, we usually do it just as they've gone to bed. So
Yeah,
like
right.
as the boys have gone to bed, then we'll be like, okay, let's go to the movie theaters, so that way
Mm.
whoever is looking after them doesn't have any extra work. It's just to just keep an eye on them while Ty sleeps essentially. And more Ty than Zavi. Like Zavi can handle his stories
Yeah, yeah,
easily.
exactly that's a difference for sure.
Yeah.
But
So
it's again, I agree. I'm just thinking now and looking back a bit. I'm happy of how things played out and turned out and everything. But if I would do anything or change anything,
mhm.
I would have, tried to give us even more time during that phase,
Yeah.
because it's important, and I can just feel that we it's one thing to have your own time,
Mhm.
that's also important, your own identity within, doesn't matter if you have kids or not, like your
Mhm.
own thing, your own hobby, maybe you like
Mhm.
to work out, maybe you like to play video games, those kind of things, but also time, like quality time once in a while together with
Mhm.
your partner, it's really important. And for us it wasn't when I think about it, those years, oh man, it wasn't many occasions when that happened actually.
Mhm.
So yeah, good, okay, we agree upon that. That's beautiful. For
Definitely.
sure. uh,
It's
but
it's it's
yeah.
I would say right now it's a work in progress, and like my missus is she's quite inflexible when it comes to certain things. Like if we're doing something, she's like, okay, we have to do it this way, the right, and I'm so like, let's just play it by ear, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we've
yeah,
got
yeah.
like I know we've got these things to do. Like I think during the last one we were having, I was like, this is a really long, like the first time we did it, like we were so zoned into it, like time flew, so it didn't really matter. But after we done it the second time, I was like, yeah, this is a long time. I think we need to like break this up. Like if we're just sitting down doing this alone, I think what it's gonna cost is we're not gonna be able to like at the end of it, we're just gonna be irritable. um
Yeah, I mean, couldn't be a mix of maybe one, I don't know, okay, you said 3 hours of maybe 1 hour coffee and do the like practical talk, whatever you might want to call it, and then go for a walk together. Maybe
I
go
suggested a
into
walk.
shop together, maybe go into a museum, maybe, I don't know. I have no clue, but just hang around. Yeah.
I think an hour of talk is enough. I think an hour of like that. To me, it feels like enough, and then just us go on kickback. Because it's again like usually we don't get that time. We're usually busy. Because usually what we used to do was we would drop the boys off, and then we would sit in the house. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we would sit in the house, but we wouldn't be hanging out together. Like she'd be watching telly
Yeah,
downstairs,
exactly.
I'd be
That's what
gaming or
I'm
something.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
true.
a normal, like our regular routine kind of thing. It didn't
Yeah, yeah,
involve,
yeah.
and to me, it was like that's when I said, "Oh, let's just go to a coffee shop." I think that would be a brilliant idea. Let's
No,
go to
I
a
think
coffee
that's a
shop.
good idea. Again, it's good to get out there, like be a couple among other people's, other
Yeah.
grown-ups as well. That's
Mm-hmm.
also a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wish you good luck with that. But also, I also think that, I mean, I remember also when I was working with Cremant and we had weekly meetings.
Uh-huh.
But we learned through the years,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to be very efficient.
Right.
Like get to the point with what you have to deal with, and then the meeting is over.
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you tend to sit and discuss whatever is around related to that, and all of a sudden you've been having a meeting for 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
So I think we came down to, even though we had like a, I don't know the word in English, but you write down like the protocol for the day, so to say. So you have like this, and then maybe also something where people can an open kind of form where people could just, oh, I've been thinking about this as well. Can we talk about
Mm-hmm.
it? Blah blah blah. But usually we became really fast, just going through and try to reach some consensus, or understanding about the problem or something, or a project that was upcoming, and then boop, move on.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted to sit for too long and do that. So it was to get to the fun part, which for us was to rehearse the music. So,
Exactly, exactly. I think more than anything else, what I have taken as and obviously this is a learning process for us. We're still,
yeah, of
it's only
course,
been
we
2 weeks of us
it's
doing this, but I would say for me, what I've learned from it is, yeah, like you just kind of have to, like you can't just do one thing for that long, and not just with like adults but with kids as well. Like when it comes to like teaching them something, like I've started to cut back the amount of, like, I was talking to my brother about this week, and
yeah,
I was
right.
talking to him about like, like with regards to like Ty and his maths. Like I was like, he's regressed in his maths. Like there were problems that I used to be able to give him and he would solve them instantly. I'm not saying like he can't solve basic math problems, he can, but some of the more complex ones, or what would be considered complex for kids his age, um, he struggles with, and he didn't before. So it's also a thing where it was like, okay, we need to like get him back up to that level. So because I remember I was just talking to my brother about it, and he was like, you have to understand, like they're kids, they're gonna like forget stuff, they're gonna relapse. He
Yes.
was telling like my niece same thing, like sometimes he teaches her something and he comes back the day after and she tells him some kind of nonsense and he's like, huh, but is this sort of like, he's what he was saying to me, he's like, just like limit the length of time, because usually I would do like maths with him for like an hour, or
Hmm.
but he was like, nah, 20 minutes. He's like, trust me, 20 minutes is probably your best bet. um and I said, you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's try it and see how it works. And I think this is the best part about like having siblings who also have kids, is like you can bounce stuff off
Yes.
of each other. So sometimes I'll suggest something and he'll run with it, and sometimes he'll suggest something and I'll run with it. And then when we chat on the phone, then we sort of like share our notes. Oh, this worked, that didn't work, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's good. That's the best, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, so I started doing the 20-minute math, and Ty, within about maybe 2 or 3 sessions, he was back to solving problems at the level that I expect from him. So I was like, great, brilliant. He's getting back there. So it's just a consistent thing of doing it with him every day. Just making sure he's doing a little bit of maths every day. That little 20 minutes when he comes in after school, and then he can go off and do whatever he wants after that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure.
So that way it will keep him on his edge, because I think the thing with the mind is the sort of thing, like if you don't use it, you lose it. you know so when he's not actively being challenged by stuff like that, I think he regresses and just doesn't want to. For him, it's just like all he can do is recite all the Pokemon and all the Beyblades and all that kind of stuff, because that's how he spent his holiday. But yeah,
Yeah.
I need him to be like, I still want him to be able to know his Pokemon and all that kind of stuff, because I'm a gamer anyway. So
Of
but
course, of course.
at the same time, I want his academics to be on point as well. So yeah, he gets a nice balance, I think, in everything. So he gets to play his Switch, he gets to do his reading, he gets to do his
Yeah.
math, a bit of everything, and yeah, just kind of get him more well rounded and all that kind of stuff. And but I think more than anything else, I think flexibility is the key word for my week this week. Is that we just got to be flexible when it comes to things, and
Yeah.
have a plan, obviously, but be able to adjust as things change,
True.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
adapt.
yeah.
So but yeah, he's been good. The missus has been doing Polish with him as well, so she got this little Polish book from from Amazon. It's a terrible Polish book. Apparently, she needs to get a real Polish one. So apparently, it's a Polish book made by English speakers. So the
Aha. Okay. Okay. Okay.
pronunciation is wrong. Of how they write it in the book.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
not the best purchase. So we're gonna get a new one that she can do Polish with him to help him get his Polish on point. And he was doing pretty good last night. They were doing the alphabet, and he was doing pretty good. The alphabet, a few words,
Yeah.
getting him
Yeah.
to like
Cool.
understand a few things. So I think a bit of that, and similarly, she's doing the same 20 minutes, approximately about say 15 to 20 minutes with him. So that time, meaning that he'll once we stay consistent with it, he should get to the point of where he understands his Polish, he understands his English and his math. And I think that to me is primarily what he needs. English, math, Polish, boom, he's good. So other than that, it's just been a normal week. I had one day in the week with Zavi where we were not on good terms, where he completely utterly upset me. And I wasn't talking to him for that day, like at all.
Oops.
And it was related to breakfast. He got up in the morning,
Okay.
he was late for school, and I woke up right after him, went downstairs, and I went to make porridge for Ty, and the microwave was unplugged. And I was like, Davi, did you have breakfast? Yes. What did you have for breakfast? Porridge. Zavi, come here for a sec. He comes back because he's putting his shoes on. I'm like, what did you make the porridge in the microwave? I was like, Zavi, the microwave is unplugged. I go over to the dish area where the dishes are drying, and the one of the dishes is completely utterly dry. The bowl there, all the dishes are dry. I'm like, Zavi, what did you use? Oh, I used that bowl. I was like, so why is it dry? And he gives me this look as if like, how dare you even question this? I'm telling you the truth. And I'm like, Zavi, I'm giving you one chance, and then I'm gonna get upset and you're gonna get seriously punished. Tell me the truth and all will be well, right? He told me that he was like, I didn't have breakfast. I was like, so why did you lie about it? Like, why didn't you just say I didn't get breakfast? I woke up late. He was like, oh, I thought I was gonna get in trouble. I was like, mate, you get in
Oh.
trouble for lying to me. I was like, yeah, I would tell you off for not having breakfast in the morning because it's for your own good. But more like, I'll just say, take a banana and go to school. I'll tell you off, mate, get up earlier, eat your breakfast. But then I'll be like, grab a banana, go to school. Rather than, than what in the end happened, which was he got proper punished. I was like, look, you're going to get punished. I'm going to punish you for lying to me, but not for not having breakfast. So I told him grab a banana, go to school, and then I was like, I'll deal with you when you get home. And he got punished, and I told him don't let it happen again, and that was that. And
Yeah. Okay.
so he better not tell me any tall tales again. Just tell me the truth. I'm not a monster. I'm
No.
pretty level headed. I mean, we're good again, but
Yeah. Of course, you
but
should be.
he
It's
like
not a.
don't lie to me, like because as I said to him, I was like, if you lie to me, I can't trust you. Like if you come with a serious problem and you tell me about it, I'm gonna be questioning if you're telling me the truth. So it's best you just tell me the truth, and if whatever the consequences are, you just face your consequences. Be a man about it. That's how
The
it is.
things that we all struggle with in different stages in life, but
Mm-hmm.
also as an adult. I
Yeah.
mean, still,
Mm-hmm.
should I say tell the truth, or should I, things like that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's preferable most of the time. I would say in most cases, definitely.
Yeah.
There might be some things maybe, or whatever in certain occasions. I
If
can't
you
come up with one now, but I don't know.
Let's
Maybe
hear it.
it's
Let's hear it. What
better
is
not
it?
to.
What's your go-to time to tell a lie?
Now, but I don't know. It could be like a terrible, really terrible thing, maybe that would cause more damage than actually uh,
Like you're
be good
speeding
to.
and the police pull you over and you lie and say, "Hey, I'm my wife's pregnant. I'm heading to the hospital."
Yeah, I was more thinking about the like the private sphere of things, like
Oh,
the
okay.
family, and this is sensitive stuff, of course, when you get
Mm-hmm.
into it. But I was just thinking, like, open-minded about certain things, and um, yeah. Well, I mean, we can skip that for now. I also gonna get into my week. We have to talk about movies and stuff, but let's have that. We can maybe have a discussion about that in another podcast. I don't know, upcoming, because most yeah. Mm. It's
Yeah,
interesting. Oh,
we'll have a, if you guys want us to have an episode, let us know in the
yeah.
comments and we'll talk about lying and
Eh,
families. Let's go.
yeah. Exactly. I'll live a
Right.
whole life with a lie in a
Mm,
lie or whatever. That's like,
we'll make it
Yeah.
nice and sweet. Other than that,
Yeah.
the week has been chill, just
Yeah.
doing the regular running around, cycling, taking care of family. And that's about it, really. Nothing too complex, nothing too complex at all.
Yeah. But that's
So,
good too.
what
That's
have
good
you,
too.
Raj? How
Yeah.
has your week been?
Yeah, it's been mainly the same, meaning quite like the normal routines, I have to say. But some spices to it.
Hmm.
Also want to say hi, Miss A&R. I see you. Hope you're fine. Having a good week as you do that together, you and Q.
Hmm.
But even so, yeah, it wasn't focused during the weekend on music for sure. We rehearsed with one of the bands on uh, Saturday, yeah, and the other one on Sunday.
Hmm.
So, and as I said, I've been a bit. I had some problems. I've said before I get some back problems once in a while,
Hmm.
and the weekend wasn't that great. So I was tired already then, and it
Hmm.
had kind of. I'm better now for
Hmm.
sure. I had a good day yesterday and everything, but it's still a bit tired.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
on the other hand, I did stream yesterday evening, so
Hmm.
that could contribute as well to the tiredness, even though it was fun. But yeah, so been doing that. Been quite busy also fixing things at home. So I think this weekend especially passed really fast. It was like, okay, it's Monday again. Here we go. And as I mentioned earlier, also it's been quite a variation when it comes to the weather. It still looks nice. We got more snow during the last week, so it kind of compensated with the former weather that we had like 2 weeks ago when it started to melt. We had
Hmm.
even some rain and shit. So and then the temperature dropped and it became really cold. So yesterday, like minus 14 degrees Celsius, and something similar during the weekend, a bit bright, like -8, -9, stuff like that. And then we had this drop this night. So now I didn't watch the thermo when I woke up, but Anneli told me just before we went to bed that it would do that during the morning. So it might even be a plus degree or something now.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's all that. But otherwise, it's good, I would say.
Hmm.
I'm uh, yeah. What can I add to it? I'm back on track. I feel that I have come back into the pace.
Hmm.
Also, I mean, as I said earlier, like already last week, the pause I had was great during Christmas, and
Hmm.
once again, really happy that my mom was able to calm down and celebrate Christmas with me and my family. That was really, really good. It was one of the best Christmases for that we've had for years. Just
Hmm.
because everything just was so perfect, you might say.
Hmm.
But and I talked to her yesterday as well. She was fine.
Hmm.
But yeah. But then also, I had to come back and get back with the video making and everything, the music making.
Hmm.
And I'm doing plans for this year also when it comes to the music making. It's been quite slow, a bit worrying actually when it comes to sales and everything. I haven't been doing that well.
Yeah.
And I think it's more the industry than anything else. Like the music libraries,
Hmm.
when it comes to both stock music and royalty-free music,
Hmm.
has been going through a change like the last years. And I think I start to see that now personally also because it's very much these subscription models
Hmm.
that are, yeah, it's good for the users,
But it's not
but
good for the
it's
artists.
no, it's not that good for the content creators or the composers and everything, to be honest.
What about AI? Do you think AI is having
Yeah,
an
that's
impact as
also a
well?
thing. Oh, it's been discussed a lot. I mean,
Hmm.
I have given my permission to one of the libraries to use my music for AI learning. I
Hmm.
do get compensated for that a bit, but it is, of course, a huge, yeah, it is a big discussion
Hmm.
in the music industry today.
Hmm.
And not only that, in so many areas. We are soon about to get into the gaming session, and I'm going to mention something there as well
Hmm.
that has to do with AI. Uh, but it's a bit, in a way, it's a bit worrying. But at the same time, I'm not really that worried because at the end of the day, I believe that there's always room for experience and knowledge.
Yeah.
and the human mind and the spirit, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
I say bring on the
Uh,
robots, man. Bring on the robots. I think we humans need to just like delete ourselves from the equation. Bring the robots on. I'll become a
exactly.
robot myself. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Um
The old Kraftwerk song, "We Are the Robots," bing, 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 comes to mind, to be honest. Yeah, and now this is have question about the Japanese company using AI translation, getting a small proofread read instead of human translator because of the years of some injecting problems. Yeah, there you have also. Yeah, that's another field you might say of. I think yeah, we are standing in a like a almost like a crossroad right
mhm.
now, where we have to think about the impact thing it might have in certain areas, and of course also as there has been meetings already, you know, they're like almost very like important people in the world have been meeting tech people also to find out how can we, what kind of rules do we have to set up? How can this be, you know, applied and in the best ways in order to, of course, take the advantages of AI because it can
Mhm.
also really help. But yeah,
Like
it's hard also. I know Anneli said, for example, you know, it's hard, you know, when it comes to certain tests
mhm.
in the school and everything because you know
They
it's
can cheat with AI.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a lot of we're standing I would say, as said, a bit on crossroad here to see what was going to come out of it.
But I think
Um,
at the same time, is it that they're cheating, or are they just being resourceful enough to like figure out that this is the way I can solve this problem without having to go about it the long way, in that
mhm.
sense? Because to me, at the end of the day, if I'm a teacher and my students are using AI to solve their problems, I would be fine with it because it would mean that if when they go out into the work field and they need to solve a problem at work, and if they can solve the problem, not that if they, if they can actively solve the problem, and that's great because I actually see now for some job roles, they actually have like a requirement is knowing how to use Chat GPT properly. You know,
Yeah,
so
I can see that coming for
so
sure.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
thing. And with regards to like Nalu's comment about the whole AI in the translation scope, like I've been seeing the same news, and I think it's fine with regards to translation because I think generally speaking, one, if we use AI to translate stuff, there's a lot of Japanese or foreign products that never get translated because it's the cost involved. Maybe it's too small a title for the developer to be able to afford to pay a translation studio to actually or to localize it. Like there are some games where they've had a
Mm.
Japanese release and we never get it over here. Whereas there are some games that that are just you would be surprised that it got localized. But with
Yeah, yeah.
I think the way it came about probably isn't the most appealing way to some people because obviously people are losing their jobs with regards to localizers. But at the same time, there's this sort of notion that they brought it on themselves, which I kind of agree with because of the fact that I think why Japanese studios decided they're gonna start using AI is because localizers have started like injecting their own personal views and all that kind of stuff into the source material. So instead of like localizing it and sticking to the source material, it's like someone making a copy of your song. Like you told them, hey, just like remaster the song for me, and they just change the beat. Like, but that's
Yeah,
not the
right.
song.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right? So essentially it's like that. It's like people just injecting their own political beliefs and other stuff into
Mm.
the story because they want to tell a story that is not what the original story is. So obviously with the localizers, originally it used to be like animators would change, like for example, like maybe a character is smoking a cigarette and they pull a lollipop to protect the children because the idea was anime was for children, but it's not. And generally speaking, I think now with animators and studios being able to like, games or anime or whatever have been able to localize their own stuff. One, it saves the studio money that they don't have to go out there and reach out to bigger studios and publishers to help them. They can actually do it on their own, which is good. That's more money for them. And two, they can keep the price down for the consumer because they don't have to pay these big things, so they can actually sell at a lower price. And yeah, and with regards to that, I am sold on the idea of AI doing translation when it comes to games and Tele. Honestly,
Mm.
I am not on the side of the localizers in that regard. I think, and this is despite the fact like I know some pretty cool people in the space, but I think they'll land on their feet. I think they can transition to other industry and so forth. And I think those who have done a good job, they will still find work somewhere, doing that kind of work. I just think
Yeah, I
like
hope so. It might margin the possibilities to a certain degree. I mean, there's already jobs that are like threatened, you might say,
yeah.
that can be automized or even completely replaced
Hmm.
with an AI, with a robot, if you will,
Hmm.
even later on. But we'll see. We just have to be careful, but because it's easy to get like wow, 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 and then you just you just go ahead and do everything, and then realize, wait, we don't have restrictions. We haven't thought this out. We don't really. Oh, it has to be on the paper before you start to. It becomes like it's when you get into almost, you're talking about like when they started to clone as well. I
Hmm.
mean, these ethical questions, and is this okay? Can we do this? It's I'm not saying it's the same thing with AI, but it will have an impact uh, for good and maybe bad a bit as well when it comes to humanity for the
Hmm.
future. So it's that, but we gonna move on for sure.
This is
We have
actually
things to
my
talk about.
that's actually my game segment because I literally didn't play anything this week. So
Yeah, look at that.
yeah.
But then we can get into and talk about, we can go into gaming first, actually.
Yeah, definitely. So
Because
that was my gaming segment. I think because I literally didn't have anything to talk about, and then because of that topic, kind of like ties into gaming with the whole AI thing. I was like, yeah, let's go with that.
sure, and we can continue that and I can fill in,
Hmm.
because it's been interesting the last few days when it comes to gaming. And it doesn't really have to do with the specific game, and so this kind of connects to the thread we already started here. First off, I watched the video. If I can then start, you can fill in. But
Yeah.
I watched a video by since I mainly produce and play FPS games and content when it comes to my channel on YouTube. I watched a video by a YouTuber called Jack Frags. He's an FPS YouTuber. He's a very good YouTuber.
Hmm.
And the thing is that he came across a software that is called REWASD. And I
Hmm.
REWASD. I'm gonna do like this in the chat. You can Google this if you want to. I'm going to start off by saying that most likely the intention from the developers of this software is good. This is
Yeah.
not something that was intended for cheating in the first place. But literally, it's like almost like an emulator making making the giving you the possibilities. For example, if you're playing a game on PC,
Hmm.
let's say you have an old controller that the
Hmm.
game doesn't really detect, it doesn't work, then you can use Revasta and let the game think that you have a new DualSense or maybe a great DualShock 4 controller.
Hmm.
So it works and plays well, and you can remap, and it's really cool.
Hmm.
You can also, the problem is when you start to go into the field of not PvE games, but you go into the field of PvP, and
Hmm.
a game such as Call of Duty, for example, or other games, and I'm getting to that, because with this software, and this is where it starts to get in the gray zone and even further, you can use this program to make the game believe. Let's say you're playing Warzone, for example. Make the game believe regarding the input that even though you're playing on PC using keyboard and mouse,
Hmm.
the game believes that you are playing on a controller.
Right.
So it starts off by most likely, regarding the matchmaking, put you together with more console players than anything.
And then you could
That's
just
the
own
first
them.
thing. Yeah, that's the first thing that happens. Second, you get aim assist on keyboard and mouse by doing
Oh,
this.
sheesh.
Yes.
Not
And in
bad.
Call of Duty, there are two different aim assists. It's one that is like rotational and one that has to do with movement. Can you imagine what happens if you're good with keyboard and mouse and you can take advantage of the flicks you can do with keyboard and mouse, but still have the advantages of playing almost like getting the aim assist as a controller person. That's insane. So there you go. Then it starts to, of course, become cheating. And even further, you can config and make actually some weapons in the game have more or less no recoil pattern or anything.
Ooh.
So this is, of course, this is a huge problem because first off, this program isn't detected as cheat and similar programs. And they have been working hard, the Ricochet company that is in the game when it comes to, for example, Call of Duty, when it comes to detecting cheaters. Third-party software such as Cronus, which is a device that you use for when you're cheating using controller, getting the same that I described more or less. When it comes to, no recall and hacks of some different sorts. So that is working right now, at least up to date, pretty well. Of course, it's still a problem, but they have been kind of catching up a lot. But this, not so much. And when you go onto YouTube and you search REWASD Fortnite, REWASD the finals, the new game, REWASD Modern Warfare 3, you will find a lot of videos showing, this setup, the best configs and everything, and check the comment section of people who say, no, you don't have to worry, this is legit, no worries, it's okay. Yeah, sure, but it's definitely cheating. And I felt that this is both interesting and scary. And I just felt that, first off, my first question, how long has this been going on in games? Like, that's my first question. And the second, how long can this be detected and can they ban this?
And why has no one told me, so
yeah,
I
exactly.
could use it.
Well, if you think about it, there are two things. First off, yes, most likely if they update the softwares, because you have to run this on the XE. So when you start this has to start along with the game. So I guess the program or the Ricochet like anti-cheat program could detect that and then tell the player that if you're going to play the game, you have to turn off the program. Otherwise, it won't start. The game won't start. So that could be a thing. Because they're already pretty good at also actually detecting like players that have more or less no recoil, meaning suspicious FPS behavior. So with that said, I did a video yesterday with the inspiration of watching the Frax video. It's up there if you're interested. Funny enough, just before the podcast started, I checked out my comments, and one guy said, "You know what? They have already banned this." So the day after, meaning, well, not my local time, but during the night, my time, they have Ricochet. No, well, Call of Duty, I would say, and Activision has been banning this software now. And it's like a balance here. Again, this is with the intention also to help, like maybe a disabled person to use this. And as described, maybe if you have this old controller, you want to play your personal like best walkthrough kind of platform gaming experience, and your controller doesn't do that for you, then you can use REWASD to make the game believe, oh, you have an up-to-date, really new controller. Beautiful, go on, play. So that's the beautiful part of it. But yeah, and as you say now, yeah, it's oh, you're getting a new controller. Good for you.
Is it a controller or I thought it said computer? Oh, I read that so wrong.
Yeah, it's definitely unfair for console crossplay players. Yeah, the problem is here also when we get into the crossplay kind of thing. But on the other hand, I have to add this. People that have been using softwares like REWASD, for example, they defend themselves saying that, well, if you're going to stay up to competition nowadays against this super strong aim assist that is applied in many modern, mainly talking FPS games now, when it comes to people using controller or in playing on console, then we need this.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the right way to go, because I do believe this is cheating. You are getting an advantage over others that is not
Except if
supposed
I
to be
use
there.
it.
But yeah, exactly. But I want to say this. Yes, I agree when it comes to the gaming, when it comes to the multiplayer games also that I play and I've seen over the years. Yeah, the aim assist has become ridiculously strong. It is over the top strong. So sure, but this is of course not the way to go. I think it's up to the developers at the end of the day, though, to decide how their game's gonna play out and how they're gonna turn out. So they have to take the decision whether. I mean, I know some developers don't even have aim assist on controllers when it comes to if you're playing on PC, for example.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to have that. So it's up to them. But it's kind of interesting, though, that, I didn't know that this existed, but I understand now, again, going onto YouTube and like searching for when it comes to this program and maybe others, and you just realize, oh shit, there's most likely a lot of people that are using this.
Definitely.
And as Jack Frag said, and I want to add this, it's a bad idea to download it and use it, especially if you did that like 1-2 weeks ago, because retroactively, if they ban it, you can get problem. And what happened like 24 hours ago, they banned it. I'm not sure what's going to happen with other games such as Fortnite, Apex, that also has strong aim assist. People will have most likely used this program, for example, in Apex. Will they ban? Can they detect it? Can they ban? So.
I think if one of them can do, the others can. I think.
Most likely. I know that Ricochet has come far. I mentioned how they do when they, for example, have when they put cheaters in certain lobbies, when they in Warzone, for example, make their guns doing no damage, or they make other players invisible for them. They have these different ways of punishing the cheaters already in the game when they are detected. Not only kick them out and ban them, but they can also do that to a certain extent. So it's but man, oh man, modern times in gaming. So that's the like software part of it. And of course, this doesn't have to do with AI, but I want to throw in there also the other day, and you can watch this on YouTube, of course, also. MSI has presented a new gaming monitor it's an AI monitor that helps you cheat.
Perfect.
I'm not kidding you.
Beautiful.
It can help you cheat. For example, let's say you're playing League of Legends. It can undetected use AI to flag where enemies are, track HP bars, and track CDS in the game.
Well, again, not cheating if I'm doing it, Like...
No, it's perfectly fine. Of course, no, it's if they are doing it.
Exactly. If someone else is doing it against me, then then that's a cheat, So to be honest, I think it's got to a point where people just cheat. In almost any online multiplayer game, I feel like it's only a matter of time before people start finding ways to do. Because like sometimes I'm playing eFootball and I'm playing against a guy and his team is like the most basic team possible, but his guys are running like way faster than my guys. Even though like when you check the stats of his guys, they're not fully leveled up. They're not high. They don't have as high speed as mine, but they're running faster than me. And then you start thinking like, it's got to be cheating, isn't it? Like. How is guys running that fast? I mean, for me personally, because I'm not I'm not a competitive gamer in that sense. I just kind of whatever, Like I'll come back tomorrow night. I try not to let my gaming upsets, especially when it's online multiplayer, sort of like ruin my mood. So like if I find myself come up against a cheater, I'll get annoyed and I'll just turn the game off.
Yeah.
I'll go watch anime or something. I'll go read a book, or I will go bother someone in the house or something. I don't know.
But there you are. You're doing something. This is I have to fill in here when it comes to the Reddit post, also talking about this MSI monitor at CES. Yeah, well, because it's someone just when the way you described it also is like, holy shit, PvP games are fucked. Oh wait, another guy answers. They are already plenty of hacks everywhere. So and it's true. I mean, someone said, especially when they presented this, it's like, okay, PvP gaming is dead now.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's so sad because what happens also is when you get into a game now and play PvP, this is also a reason why I haven't played Warzone yet in Modern Warfare 3, because it's already infested with hackers. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys, I saw a video from a UK YouTuber he's a really good sniper too, just to mention, but he was on a European servers and there was a lot of, I don't know how to say this without pointing a certain area in the world, like saying, oh, they are always, but there were people from Asia coming into the server and they shouldn't even be there in the first place. And well, they were obviously using hacks. And I know this has been a problem in other shooters. I know people has gone so far saying, and I don't be, yeah, I'm just gonna say what other people have said, and I've seen comments also on the finals when it started to become cheaters. They're like, they want the developers to region lock China, for example, and it's getting tougher out there. I'm not saying that. Of course, other people are cheating from other continents and countries. That's for sure. Well, I can say I've had my shared part of cheaters and meeting cheaters in games too. And it's very unfortunate. And of course, as you said, what happens is people stop playing and read a book or watch a movie instead.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be always hard to fight this. I mean, the developers are doing what they can with better anti-cheat programs and stuff. But on the other hand, these companies, well, they are also, doing their best to beat the games.
Or you just become like me, a single player gamer, play by yourself or play against your kids and kick their butts.
Yeah, exactly. You can do that. But you see, I've already done that. But the second part, that is. But now I don't dare almost to play with my sons any longer because they will most likely kick my butt.
As they should. As they should. I mean,
as they should.
If your kids are not getting better at gaming than you are by the time they're old enough, then you haven't done your job. You failed as a gamer dad. You'll have to give back your parking spots, return pack up box, return all your stuff, I mean, generally.
Yeah.
I mean, Zavi's better than me at Mortal Kombat at this point in time. I'm not better I mean, can I practice for a whole day and maybe get competitive? Probably, but I ain't doing that. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
But he's better at Mortal.
That's how it is. I know, for example, that Aiden Adam, my oldest son, he's back playing CS2 with friends. He was good already back in the days at Counter-Strike, so I don't want to play against him. Absolutely not. I haven't played Counter-Strike also for some years now, really, in the way I did like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, but as you say,
that's usually when you give up. That's usually when you like, I don't play that game anymore, because like by you stopping when you were better than them, like in the last time you've beaten them and you're better. In history, it will never be known that they kicked your butt. You'll just be like, look,
exactly.
I stopped so that you could enjoy yourself. Like, if I really wanted to, I could kick you. I can kick your butt. It's possible. But realistically speaking, you're gonna get handed. So it's just how it is. Let's move on with some Tele.
Sure.
I went to the movie theaters with my brother and sister this week. We went to see a movie called The Beekeeper. They enjoyed the movie. I did not. I will say this much. The Beekeeper is an action movie. My brother was like, oh, it's an action movie. That's why Q doesn't like it. Q doesn't like anything. And apparently, he was telling my sister, I'm sure Q's going to critique this movie after we see it. Right? So when I started to drop critique, he's like, I told you. See what I told you when I come in here? I knew he was going to say something. So
Okay. Yeah.
So apparently, I've got a track record for critiquing films. Right? But it's currently ranked 10th in the world right now, The Beekeeper. I personally, I give it a 6. It's a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. I give it a 6. So my rating is in line with IMDb's rating, right? This is a Jason Statham movie. I'm a big Jason Statham fan. I think he's one of the best action movie stars today. So I like when I see a good movie from him. I do like my odd action movie. The film, however, is about he's like some former secret agent guy who's living on a farm with this old lady who's like letting him stay there, and they get she gets scammed essentially. So you have these scammers who scam old people. Their whole business is about well, something pops up on the old person's computer. It says, oh, you got a virus or something needs to update, or you're gonna lose all your data. And the old person calls this number and they give the hackers access to their computer and all this other stuff. Right? And then the hackers steal all their money and so forth. So this old lady, they do that to her. And Jason Statham's character is not having it, essentially. So he goes through and he basically takes apart the whole operation. And it goes really deep. So he keeps digging and taking down people. And it's action after action, and he's a badass throughout the whole film. He's proper. So my highlight for the film, while I gave it a 6, is because Jason Statham is Jason Statham. He's awesome.
Absolutely. I really like the guy.
He is so awesome.
Yes.
You know. So he really, like, the whole film, really good action. I think for me, there are some scenes that are just so unbelievable in the way in which, like, the characters are doing certain things that, to me, I just was like, it's taking me out of it, you know. Like, you know, there's a scene where, like, he fights someone and the person knows that, like, he's beaten them already. He's killed like 50 guys or something before that person. That person knows they've got their ass handed and they're like, okay, come on, they get another gun. Let's go. Let's follow him. I'm like, the frack you think you're gonna do, buddy? You're just gonna get your ass handed again. You just got spared. Your life was spared. You're still gonna chase him, even though you know there's no chance, 0% chance you could take him. Yeah, sure, I'll go after him after he just spared my life.
Yeah.
To me, I was just sitting there like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is some nonsense. But that being said, I love the action, and I can see why other people like the film. My sister and my brother loved it, and on Rotten Tomatoes, it's actually a 9. So I guess the general public, most people still like it as well. I personally, I'm a 6. This is not a film I'm going to be putting in my favorites. It's a film I have watched. I would recommend people go check it out if you want a good action movie, in the sense like you want action, just the action, not the story. Because I think the plot it's a good baseline for a plot. I just think the execution was poor. You know, and that's what I think. I think there are other things they could have done in the story that could have made this more solid. Because to me, it came off as a comedy. I got a more comedy vibe, and it's listed as an action thriller, but I didn't get thriller from it. I got comedy. You know, I wasn't in suspense like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna be okay? I didn't get that. I was getting the vibe of, oh, this is funny. You know, oh, this is so cool. Look at that. That's the vibe I got from it. And I think if they advertised as an action comedy, maybe I would have been, yeah. But it's not that. That's not what they're going for. But anyway, so you have Jason Statham in there. You have Emma Lampman, who plays the daughter of the lady who they scam, and I actually like her. I think I didn't like her character per se. Again, similarly, the characterization of how they write the plot. But I have seen her in other stuff, and I like her in other stuff. So when I saw her on screen, I was like, ooh, look who it is. You know, she was in Umbrella Academy as the sister who could say a word and make you do whatever she wanted you to do. I can't remember what her name was in Umbrella Academy. But I like her. I've seen her in a few stuff. I like her in a few stuff that I've seen her in. So, yeah, rate her. Other than that, I would say, yeah, 6 out of 10 for me for regards to this. Nalu asked about me watching some series, so I'll just mention I've been watching this anime called The Eminence in Shadow. I'm on season 2. Do I rate it? Yes. I'll give you my rating. I won't go into details. I think you need to watch it yourself, but it is, for me, it is a 7 out of 10. That's why I rate the series. So if you wanna watch The Eminence in Shadow, just know I think it's a 7 out of 10. You can rate it whatever you want, but yeah, 7 for me, so it's good. Anyway, that's my tally for the week. What about you, Raj? What have you been watching?
It sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I've been watching a bit of this and that, but I want to mention a movie on Netflix that I watched the other day called Outlaw King, which is from, when is it? 2018. This is a true David versus Goliath story, sorry, of how the 14th century Scottish outlaw king Robert the Bruce used cunning and bravery to defeat the much larger and better equipped occupying English army.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this has happened for sure. This is a historical, true moment and thing. And I have seen other portraying Robert the Bruce, the Scottish dude, and Liam Neeson has done that before.
Mm-hmm.
And this takes place actually a bit after, you might say, the story of Braveheart. Funny enough, Mel Gibson portrayed William Wallace. William Wallace was a leader, and yeah, long story short, he got torn apart by the Englishman at the end. And
Spoilers, Raj. I've never seen Braveheart.
Yeah, don't do that then. I'll spoil it for you. It's a good movie. I think I've seen it 3 times actually. It's a cool movie. But anywho, so it kind of connects with William Wallace in a way when it comes to him not being among them any longer, so to say. And Robert the Bruce tries to keep a bit of a low profile in the beginning there, but it doesn't really happen. It's also beautiful kind of romance going on. You know, very often back in the days, it was like arranged marriages, and this is one. But they actually they find each other. And if you like some nudity and maybe a scene where they
there's some cheek-to-cheek action in there, is
yeah,
it?
maybe then you want to watch this.
Now you've got my interest. Okay, go on.
Exactly. All of a sudden, these don't have 5.5, but 9 out of 10.
Now it's now it's an 11. You know, you got that extra point.
Crossing the upper part of the scale. Okay, so who is in here, you might ask? I just want to mention that there's definitely a few faces you will recognize. Chris Pine is Robert the Bruce, Earl of Carrick. If you don't remember Chris Pine, for example, if you've seen the earlier Star Trek movies, he's captain there. You have is that Rebecca Robin? No, what?
Rebecca Robin.
And so forth. Stephen Delane is King Edward of England. Yeah, he's a good actor here. But yeah, it's I can recommend it if you like this, you know, swords, armor, horses, and and a lot of manliness. Then the Outlaw King on Netflix could be something for you. I always like this kind of movies, like these action or an adventure, but also since it has a connection back to history as well, for sure. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I can recommend it. It has a 6.9 on IMDb, meaning a 7, and I guess it lands there for me as well. So there you go, Outlaw King.
Outlaw King it is. Look at that. I think we've got a show.
We have a show. We have a show for sure. We're gonna wrap things up. I'm gonna make some coffee, and the day is gonna move forward.
I'm gonna make breakfast. I'm thinking either should I move the office mattress back into the office, or leave it in the boys' room because I'm gonna need it for tonight. I don't know.
I think you should move it back to the office and take maybe a nap.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I need breakfast first, to be honest. I need breakfast.
Sure, eat first.
I think I have a couple things I want to get done before I even were to consider a nap at this point in time. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's it for That Beautiful Life episode 203. The
Definitely.
Beekeeper. We are gonna get out of here, Raj. I want to start us off on this glorious getting out of here moment.
yes we're gonna so thank you for being here. Thank you for being here live. I appreciate it, but also listening afterwards. You guys are great and the support means a lot. It's nice to have you around for sure, getting some feedback as well when we are talking about certain things in life, the beautiful things in life, things that we like to do, enjoy, besides living the life with family and friends, the good stuff when it comes to gaming and Tele and movies and such. So hope you got some good tips that also you can take part of. With that said, have a beautiful week and stay healthy. So muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. So with that, guys, thank you very much for watching this episode or listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. As always, you can find Roger at 40 plus number 40 SPLSH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct.
Correct, brother.
Ooh, beautiful. You can find me at Uganda's Garden Daughter U pretty much everywhere, or you can find us at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK pretty much everywhere else. I don't have a stream schedule at the moment. People have been asking me, Q, when are you going to start back streaming? I haven't yet. I will at some point. I don't have a schedule for that yet. I'm trying to sort out some other things. But I do want to do some content. I do want to drop some videos. I do have some ideas. I am working on things. I just haven't. To be honest, I've actually finished full videos and just left them up on my channel and I haven't published them. So
Okay.
It's not like I haven't
Okay.
been doing creative stuff. I just haven't published anything in a while.
Mm.
But anywho, thank you very much for all of you beautiful people. And with that, we would like you guys to miss on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Simply binge.com and oh wow, I messed it up there. Simply binge.com and elsewhere. And what's a compliment like that? We're giving it free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. It's a wrap. I can't believe I messed up the ending. I thought I was better at that. My tongue just started to like rap onto itself. It was like, oh no.
Yeah, but
no.
that's the tongue play. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about in a kind of sensual or erotic way. Are we off stream, by the way? Or